Welcome back to the Precision Trader. Just wanted to go back through some of the order book today. I meant to do it yesterday. Had some really good examples, but unfortunately I can only go back so far with this order book. Of course, we're using Bookmap as our preferred order book of choice. And for anyone that's not familiar with an order book, it just tells you where the resting orders, limit orders, buy and sell orders are sitting in the order book. So it's a leading indicator. Yeah, it's quite useful to say the least. So the idea is the larger number of orders that are at a level, the more that your color is going to go from white, blue, yellow, orange, and then red. Red is just jam-packed level. So anyway, I'm just going to go through a few of the stocks here. So NVAX, we see it started the day, pushed up to 226, this liquidity level right here, and then once it gets to one of these major levels, in this instance pushing up, so it's going to push up to this level. A lot of liquidity, because again, stocks are always, when you got the volume, they're always searching out more liquidity, more orders to fill. So when it got to this level, unfortunately there was NVAX, there was a lot of sellers at this level, filled them, and then once all those orders, once it absorbs those orders, then you get your move. So in this case, more sellers at that level, and we see that it brought it down $6-7 here. At that point, we see we had a line of sellers here at 219, 220. Sellers, or the buyers, stepped back in at this point. This line right here steps back in, pushed it back up $3-4 to this level right here. Be able to see it a little bit better. So pushed it up. That sellers jumped back in at 224, pushed it back down to this to retest this liquidity here. Okay, buyers step back in, and then of course once buyers prove that they can hold that level, then it's really just pushing to the next major level of liquidity, and we see in this case 226 pushes to it, right to it, and then proceeds to dump back to the VWAP, which more times than not you're always going to have some buyers sitting at the VWAP. Bounces off the VWAP, again pushes back up to this liquidity, tests it, finally pushes through it, absorbs all the sellers, and then what I always like to see after that is at least, ideally 1 to 3 support candles, and in this case we see that we got a nice support candle there, waiting that we're ready to push to higher levels, and in this case pushes up, and our next major level was the 229 to 230. You see that a lot of sellers here that they wouldn't even wait for 230. They went ahead and brought the orders down to 229 just to be safe, and and then they knocked it back down $3, $2-3, and of course it gets knocked down. But hey, we got a lot of people up here wanting to do business, so reality, you want to be looking for a re-entry for the retest of that liquidity, and sure enough, finally pushes back up to the 229, rejects off it again, absorbs those sellers at that level, pushes back up, and then finally we push to that 230 level. This is where I actually got in 230 for short scalp. 230 to 231 is where I got in, because I felt pretty confident in a decent pullback. So with that said, ended up getting that pullback. Always when we get to these really heavy levels right here, pretty much a lot of times they're at whole numbers, 225 in this case, or 230 right here. I always like to give it about $1's worth, especially if I see that there's another level $1 above it. What that more times not means that if it can push through it and pushes one, a lot of times there's just sellers just ready to unload right there. So that's what happened in this case. So yeah, I can't remember. I think played it back to 229, 228, somewhere in there. Yeah, it went on. Yeah, pulled all the way back to 228. So yeah, this was just a a pretty easy scalp here. So, and then from there, the volume, middle of the day, the volume dries up, and yeah, sellers are still locked and loaded in the 230, 231 level, and then they start pushing it down. VWAP pushes down to the VWAP, tries to recover it. Rejection candle on it here, and then really from that point you're pushing to the next major level of liquidity. Tried to bounce it here, but really this was the big level, 223 from earlier in the day. So sure enough, comes down, finds enough buyers right at that 220 level, and that was really all the boost that it needed to push back up. And then when you see these big gaps in liquidity right here, nice support. I mean, more times than not, you're gonna run. Yeah, it's just like a heat-seeking missile. Yeah, just tractor beaming right back up to the big liquidity levels. So, and then that was pretty much it. Just bouncing off sellers up in this 230, and that's pretty much it for NVAX for the day. Let's see. Low was another one that I had mentioned yesterday. Had a ton of liquidity sitting at 208, 210 level. Let me see, and it was 198 to 200 at the time. One thing I've learned, whenever you see just massive liquidity coming to the order book, more times than not, it's going to track. It wants to track beam to it. All right, so let's see what happened on low. So yeah, start the day. Tons of liquidity up in this area. That's a good way to get some market direction for the day. Is look within $5 to $10, and then look where the majority of liquidity is. More times than not, it wants to gravitate to it. And in this case, there was $10 below. There was really nothing. Just a little bit here at 198. So that was it. I mean, there's all the yellow and the orange and the red is all north. So that's pretty much what it did for the day. So see, it pushed up to start the day, pushed up into this 206 area. A lot of sellers are waiting here. You can see a lot of liquidity right here. A lot of sellers waiting to sell. Was not able to absorb them. Falls back down about $1.50. But again, there's not a lot of people wanting to do business below. So again, where the stock want to go in that case? It wants to hit up here to all this extra liquidity, and sure enough, it does. Pushes up to it. Finds support right here on 206 finally, and then from that point, it will push up to 207. Comes back, finds more buyers at 206 now that it's support. And then that's pretty much it. Again, prime example here, it pushes up to this 208 liquidity. We get our initial rejection and then a retest. And then once we start getting these support candles on top, 1, 2, 3 right here, that's a sign that, hey, we're heading to the next level. Sure enough, we did. 209. And of course, we're getting to the middle of the day. What does that mean? Volume's drying up. Sellers, sellers tend to be more powerful. And sure enough, that's what happened. Dropped back down $1. And just sideways. Finally pushes its way back up to 209. Liquidity at 209. And that was it for low. Let's see, what was another one? Zoom. Yeah, we got in Zoom yesterday at 3:30, 3:33. Day took profit in that 343 area, 344. SPY had a strong algo level. Yeah, really good algo level. That it had bounced off yesterday, and there was a big one that it was running into today, right at 344. So I really didn't want to get back. Really didn't want to get back $10, $12 in profit. So it was better to give it a wait and see approach. If it would have been able to get on top of that 344, 345, then we would have ran with it. But it didn't. So yeah, that's why I sent out the alert to take half or all the profit off of at that point. So just gonna let it load here for a second so we can look at that in the order book. What we got. All right, fine. All right, so this is what it looked like to start the day. All right, so we see that Zoom started, and again, it opens. You got 330 liquidity, and you got 340 liquidity to start the day. So it's going to one of these liquidity levels. So once you see how it starts the day, it comes up, pushes up, and then comes back, tests the VWAP. Nice bullish support candle. I mean, that's a clear sign you're heading to this liquidity. I mean, it really is. So sure enough, it does. It gets to that liquidity, and of course, the more you zoom in, the more detailed orders you get. So yeah, pushes up to it, and then from that point, like I said, been sideways here, trying to decide, okay, all right, do we have enough buyers to keep hold it and then push? Well, the nice little bullish candle here on top of this level, and that's a sign of going higher, and it did. That's where we actually, that's where we ran into this level right here for 343. Yeah, we had quite a few sellers lined up, ready to go in this area. Plus, we had a major algo computer trading level of resistance. So for me, that's why I was like, I'd rather get out and then just see what it does. And yeah, as we can see here, we downtrended back to the VWAP. Let me see if I can get that message pulled up to where I sent it out. Alrighty. Share this. Share my screen right here so you can see where we're talking about it. Okay. All right. So yeah, you should see it on my screen now. Yesterday we alerted Zoom got in a little late. Wanted to get right in at 330. Went ahead and set our orders, and anyway, ended up getting filled at like 332, 333, right there in that area. And then today sent out the whenever it was at 343, 344. Likely runs to 350 into earnings, but take half off at that 3 area. So we did good. We did good on that one. So let's get back to our book map. And yeah, that was it for Zoom. It traced back to the VWAP. Sellers wasn't able to hold it there, or the buyers wasn't able to hold it there. And then, of course, sellers stepped back in just below the VWAP, trying to keep it down. Middle of the day, sideways, sideways, sideways. So, yeah, not enough volume to do anything. No, not at all. All right, let's see. Let's look at another one here. What's another one that I jumped into today? Regeneron. Yeah, I scalped it. It had a really really strong level of liquidity today that I wanted to take advantage of a scalp on. And let me see here. Get some more data to load here. Yeah, so one strategy is, you know, just once you start getting to about the middle of the day, I'd say about 11 o'clock, or even 10, 11 o'clock, just start looking for the big levels of very strong levels of liquidity on a stock that's run pretty good, you know, north or south. And then you usually find a nice scalpable pullback somewhere there. Okay, oh yeah, it was like 675 is where I'm. Yeah, because I mean, look at this. This was just a huge level of liquidity right here. Because the wider the band is, the more people, more orders are sitting at that level. And not that it can't eat through that level. It's just more times than not, you're always going to get that initial rejection. That gives a nice, easy scalp, low risk scalp. So we see here Regeneron was a prime example of that. So we start the day. We have this first liquidity level right here. A lot of sellers at it. Rejects down to like $2.50 off of that. Comes back up, gains that level, support candle. What does that tell us? We're heading to the next level. Okay, in this case, pushes, especially it's the morning, plenty of volume, that kind of thing. Now, when we get to the middle of the day, it's you can be a little bit more skeptical about just running up to the next level without pullback. But in this case, we'd already had our pullback. So yeah, that's very promising for the next level. And sure enough, it does. 660 or 670 pushes up to it, and it rejects all the way back down to the VWAP. What is that? That was almost an $8 move, $8 rejection. So it's one of those that this is some extremely valuable information here. So you see, you got support candles here early in the morning. Hey, volume. Let's play it to the next liquidity level. Then we're going to take profit here, or we can take profit and we can short it. So where you short is you have your first orders right here at the start of the liquidity, and also too you'll have some orders on the back side of the liquidity. So in this case, 670. So I'll have it right here to start at 669.70, right there in that level. And then what I'll do is I'll put it on the back side. I'll put some short orders as well, just in the event that it absorbs them and has a little spike, little dollar spike there. It happens a lot of times. But in this case, no, it didn't. It rejected right at the start of the liquidity. And and that gave you, like I said, $8. That's not bad. Of course, again, like I said, at the VWAP, just understood you're going to have buyers more times than not. You're going to have some degree of buyers, and then we see it move sideways here a little bit, and then bam, nice bullish candle. Buyers stepping in. In this instance, that's just pretty much guarantees you're going back to the liquidity. You're going to go try to fill some more orders, and exactly that's what it did. See that it pushed, and got to it, pushed. Strong push through it, absorbed all those orders right there, had a support candle come down on it, and then you had this next really big liquidity level here. So I'm a little hesitant about scalping the front side whenever it retests the liquidity level like this, because again, I know it already absorbed a good bit of orders from it, so I'm hesitant to short it on the front side. In this, for me in this situation, I'd like to see a confirmed rejection. And you didn't get a confirmed rejection. Now, of course, for me, this is where I got in right in here in the 674 area, where I had some orders. This is where I had a scalp order ready. Because I think it was the biggest level of the day. So for me, when I see the biggest level of the day, I mean, 8, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a nice scalpable bounce. So again, orders on the front side, orders on the back side, just in the event that it pops, gives a one little $1 pop. But no, it rejected on the front side. It's front side of the liquidity, and again, where does it reject back to? The VWAP. But with that said, I'm already showing. I was gonna scroll over yet. And I was gonna ask you, like, well, now with that said, do you see a bunch of people wanting to do business down here? No, you do not. So what does that tell you? It wants to go back up and do some more business at all this liquidity. And sure enough, once it proves that it can hold the VWAP, yeah, what's it do? Push us right back to it. Tractor beam. So, and then hilarious. What does it do? This monster level, it rejects, or this actually might have been the spot that I got in because I think I caught it late. But anyway, it was either this or that one. So rejects. Yeah, where did it bring it back down to? A little VWAP. So, and then of course, they can't hold the VWAP. And then just middle of the day, volume starts drying up. Yeah, you need that. You need the volume jet fuel to get to your liquidity levels. So, yeah, that was it for Regeneron. So again, order book is extremely valuable information. Does it, automatically tell you, if something's worse? No, it doesn't. You have to learn to be able to interpret the information. Again, strategy. You start at the beginning of the day, the pre-market. You look, okay, where's the majority of the liquidity sitting? And that many times gives you an idea. Hey, this most likely this stock's going to push today, especially if the overall market is holding. Granted, take for instance, if SPY would have been falling through the SP would have been falling through the floor today. Do I think Regeneron would have been, pushing up to these high liquidity? No, there's been some sellers that came in the book, and it would have balanced out or even been bottom heavy. So, with that said, again, the strategy is look at the pre-market, look at the stocks that you're interested in, and then also too, once you get about 30 minutes into the day, about 20-30 minutes a day, look at your scan for the dollar gainers, dollar losers, and of course, if it's a green day overall in the market, then it's better to start with the winners, the gainers, and then then you just start looking for, okay, all right, we're getting close, see where the big levels are, set you an alert, and then once I get that alert and trading view that, hey, I'm about to get to a big level of liquidity, I'll go in, put my scalp orders, and take advantage of it. So yeah, but at the same time, you can play it from the momentum side. Once you see in the pre-market that, hey, there's a lot of people want to do business on one side or the other. Once you get confirmation, does the first 15-20 minute shakeout of the market, jump right in there and ride it to that that first, second, or third level of liquidity. Just understanding that, look for that thickest, biggest layer of liquidity, and just be willing to take profit at liquidity level, because you don't know which one it's going to dump at. You don't know which ones it's going to have the just loaded with sellers. So, but again, once it shows that it can hold that level and get support on it, because for me, if I'm playing momentum, I would much rather play up to the the big liquidity level, and then take profit right at it. And then once it proves that it can hold it, because a lot of times what it's going to do is it's going to push through it, and it's going to come back, retest it, make sure there's enough buyers to hold it, and then you get to you'll get one or two candles of confirmation that, hey, we're pushing up to the next level. I would much rather play the momentum to that rather than just holding it blindly without order book knowledge and just be like, oh, it's going to keep going up. Where's it going to turn around? Because a lot of it too, you got to stock that, especially if you're trying to rely on lagging indicators like RSI and moving average, stuff like that. It's if it's above all the moving averages, it's like you have no idea. You have no idea where to get out. So again, this is extremely valuable information. So with that said, I hope that was useful for you today. And again, yeah, highly recommend using an order book in your trading. Yeah, it's a great tool to have. And again, it's like any tool, the more you use it, the more you get used to it, understand how it works. So no different with Bookmap order book. So hope that helped, and enjoy the rest of your day.